Hey, welcome to Live from Dennis's House. Today's spotlight album and artist is Melanie. That's right, Melanie Safka, the international superstar whose career took off after her electrifying performance at Woodstock. Now, Melanie is calling into the show today from Nashville, and we're going to talk about her career, about her being at Woodstock, hanging out with Janis Joplin, and all that kind of stuff. And now, this album, this is a 5-star album, excellent album. She's a great singer, and as you can see, she is the most beautiful singer of the Woodstock generation, maybe of all time. And the album smells good as well. So I'm giving this album 5 stars. And make sure you check out Melanie. She's going to be performing in Bordentown, New Jersey on Saturday, April 25th. It's guaranteed to be a great show. Tell her Dennis sent you, and you may get a special gift. I don't know. So, all right, without further ado, let's talk to Melanie. We have a very special guest on the phone today. It's the voice of a generation, the female Bob Dylan. She recorded over 30 albums and sold over 80 million to date. She had a #1 single, many top 10 hits, Brand New Key, Lay Down, Candles in the Rain, Look What They Done to My Song Ma. Her songs recorded by everyone from Ray Charles to Miley Cyrus to Cher, Dolly Parton, etc. She's an amazing songwriter with a beautiful voice. The most beautiful singer of the Woodstock generation. It's Melanie. Thanks for coming on, Melanie. Thanks for coming on.
That was a great introduction.
Yes, and it's all true. You were the most beautiful of all those girls there. So,
there weren't too many women at Woodstock. I mean, Joni Mitchell didn't perform there, so
yeah, she wishes she did.
Don Reyes, me,
yeah,
and Janis Joplin, of course,
yes.
and but everybody, there weren't too many. The Grace Slick, but she was a group.
Yeah, yes.
But,
so. I just want to say that this is very personal for me today, for you to coming on my show, because I love your music, and some of my earliest musical memories of all time is with my older siblings listening to your music, and I can vividly remember it, out in beautiful summer days in the early '70s, listening to Brand New Key and Alexander Beetle, and I just want to thank you for those memories.
Oh, great. Well, thanks a lot. That really means a lot. It does.
And we also have a lot in common, by the way, that we're both from Queens, New York. We both moved to New Jersey. We're both musicians. You performed at Woodstock, and I watched the Woodstock movie many times, so our paths are amazingly similar.
Wow.
Yes. So,
yeah, well, that's an unusual move from Queens to New Jersey, right?
Yes, yes. So, so let's get right into it. That you are having a concert on Saturday, April 25th, 8 p.m. at the Open Arts Stage Theater in Bordentown, New Jersey. Now,
yes, I am looking forward. Always looking forward because, of course, I went to school in New Jersey. I graduated Red Bank High School. I went to school for 3 years. 2.5 years I went to Long Branch, and then I ran away from home.
Wow.
And it really wasn't anything to do with, having a terrible life or anything. It was just, I was a real oddball in school, and my dad really wanted me to go to college, and I just couldn't fathom the idea of another structured educational system thing, and so I ran away just to avoid it.
Wow.
And then all hell broke loose. Of course, he had to go. I ran away far. I ran to California.
That's really running away. Yeah, most kids go around the block.
And I took a plane. I actually, saved up money and took a plane to California, and I ended up in a girls' detention home, and my father had to fly out to get me. Of course, it was all before instant communication, and they didn't even know why they were detaining me in California, except that I was a runaway, but they didn't know
Wow.
I ran away. So, and then my dad came and got me and brought me back, and we made a compromise that he wouldn't send me back to Long Branch High School. He would let me go to, as a tuition student, he would let me go to Red Bank. So that's where I graduated.
Oh, okay.
But my reputation preceded me, unfortunately. And I didn't do anything. I was the quietest person in the school. But I was very loudly quiet, you know?
Yeah. So
anyway, when I got to Red Bank High School, it was just his dad. And they wouldn't let me walk in the graduation ceremony.
Sons of bitches.
The principal really didn't like me. He thought I was a communist anarchist coming in to cause chaos, and I mean, I didn't even know another person. The only other person I knew was my art teacher, who was named John Brostowski, and he was the only person who I could talk to and feel like a human being with. But,
Wow.
so now I'm being inducted
Yes,
into the Red Bank High School Hall of Fame after all these years.
So yeah. So is that open to the public, or is that a closed event, or what's that about?
I think it's closed. Yeah, I should have just asked her, because she just she was talking to me, and I didn't ask, because a lot of people have been saying they want to come, and I'm not sure if just anybody can go.
Yeah. You don't want to get in trouble again now, do you?
I'll cause a riot. No. In fact, I think instead of talking, because I'm bound to stick my foot in my mouth, I was thinking I'll just stay.
Yeah.
I'll just sing a song and not talk about all that, because I mean, it was just such a different atmosphere than now. It was even before there was a word hippie.
Right.
There was nothing called hippie. There were beatniks, and oddballs, and I was definitely an oddball beatnik. And so they didn't exist yet in Red Bank, New Jersey.
Yeah,
so
right.
I was like the first one, as the prototype, and
so this is.
So it was hard. It was really hard I didn't fit in, and it caused all kinds of trouble.
But now this is great redemption for you now, going back and being inducted to the Hall of Fame.
It's like a vindication.
Exactly. You think that?
I'm just thinking, the only thing is they waited this long.
Yeah,
they
right.
couldn't have gotten you, and I was absolutely drop dead gorgeous. They had to wait till I was 68 years old.
I'm sure you still are gorgeous. And I wonder if the same principal will be there, though.
No, I don't think so. He had to have been 100, but I was in school, so I don't think so.
Yeah, that's what they had to wait for him to die before you could get back in, I guess.
I think so.
That's
probably what happened.
He was like, I won't have that communist back at my school.
That's it.
Yeah. So, let's talk about your early career a little bit here. That you started off in coffee houses, right, in Greenwich Village, New York City, and you somehow ended up playing at Woodstock, and then right after Woodstock, you became like an instant celebrity. You went to Royal Albert Hall, Carnegie Hall, the Metropolitan Opera House, Sydney Opera House, and you even played at the UN. So, can you tell us? I'm sure you might even be tired of talking about Woodstock, but I'm certainly not tired of hearing about it.
No, because it was such an amazing event, and that I was part of it.
It is.
It's like, how could that have happened? And again, I was pretty much an unknown when I did Woodstock, and it was only because my husband, and I was even an oddball in hippiedom, really. I was married. I was married in a very traditional sense of married.
Wow.
And my husband was my producer. He produced every record that I ever made, and he was also my agent, my manager, everything. And he stayed in England because I was doing a film score, and I was really kind of liking the way my career was taking off in a more being a writer and not being in the spotlight. I liked that better because I was very shy.
Yes.
And so, I wasn't celebrity material. So I kind of liked being in the back room, and working creatively in music. But I had talked to the people who were putting Woodstock on. It was Artie Kornfeld and Michael Lang, and they were in the same office building as Peter. And in the early stages, nobody knew what, of course, it was going to be.
Yeah, of course.
So I very naively said, 3 days of peace and music, I love that. And I was picturing, families on picnic blankets on a pastoral setting, and, the arts and crafts, and I could go shopping.
Yeah, right, like 100 people there or something.
I did, the Aquarian exposition, I'm an Aquarius.
Right.
So, it was me. So I very naively, thought that I could be there. That would be great. And they said, oh, yeah, you'll be there. That'll be great. And then I went off to England to become, I was writing film score, and for a movie called All the Right Noises. And I was almost thinking maybe I should stay here, but what we did is my husband stayed, finished the production up, and I came back to my mother picked me up.
Wow.
This is how little I knew, I mean, and I had never performed in front of more than 500 people in my life.
Wow.
And I wasn't a showbiz kind of girl, I wasn't a hanger-outer, my mom picked me up. We went up to Woodstock, and then I got, there was traffic. I thought maybe there was an accident. It's a weekend, New York, it was summer.
Right.
And then we got the idea that, maybe it has something to do with what I'm going through. And then I think, there were probably reports on the radio, I don't know. But then I made it to a phone booth and got hold of a promoter, and they said, no, don't go there, go to this other place. And I went to this motel, and there were media trucks from one end of the parking lot to the other. And as I walked in the hotel, there was Sly Stone. And there in the lobby, I had never met a famous person. I'd never met a famous person. There was Janis Joplin, and she was, slugging Southern Comfort around by media and microphones, and I was thinking, oh my God, what am I in? What is this? This looks really big. This looks really big. Peter, where are you?
Yeah, right.
Because
you were alone, right?
Safely in the studio, and there I was, going to be facing the firing squad. So they said, oh, Melanie, go to the helicopter. So me and my mom, we run to the helicopter, and I'm thinking, helicopter. I've never been in a helicopter. Why are we going in a helicopter? I mean, why can't we just go in a car like everybody else? And I go to get in the helicopter with my guitar and my mother, and they say, who's she? And I said, this is my mom. They said, no moms, just performers and managers and performers and musicians. And I didn't even have the sense to say, yeah, it's my bass player. He's my guitarist. But I get in the helicopter, I say goodbye to my mother. I don't even know what happened to my mom. She got there later, I know that. But so I was lowering down onto this field. I didn't even know what it was down there. I didn't fathom that it was people.
Right.
It was like weird kind of crops, it was a big field full of something, and then the pilot says people. No. And I look at this thing, the stage, it's like a football field, and I'm thinking, I can't do this, right? I I just play the guitar. I don't even play that well. You know? And I have a loud voice, but, you know, I don't think so. And they land and they unwed to this little tent with a dirt floor. It's just me by myself in a tent. I don't know a single soul. All the promoters and the people organizing, they're throw singers, you know.
Right.
They're not there. Nobody's there that I know. There are only a lot of, there's a big upper echelon tent, and that's where, you know, the big stars were. And then the lesser known people were in the little tents, and that's where I was. And they kept calling me, like, because I was just a girl with a guitar, so they could just plug me in, and I could be,
right.
you know, on with kids while they're setting other groups or setting up other groups. So they would constantly, all throughout the day, they would say, "You're on next," and then they'd say, "Never mind." So finally, it was nighttime, and it started to rain, and I, for a few minutes, thought, "Oh, it's raining. Everybody's going to go home now, and I can go back to my life the way it was, and no, I won't have to do this." And just as I'm in this reverie, they came in and said, "You're on next." It was right after Ravi Shankar, and right after the announcer, I think it was Wavy Gravy, made some kind of announcement, very inspirational. The Hog Farm commune was passing out candles. We could keep dry against the rain, and I'm thinking, you know, I was absorbing this. I was absorbing that, but my physical body was in terror, and absolute terror. And this had been building up all day long, you know,
right.
thinking that I was going to be in front of these people. So, well, when I finally walked out there and got on the stage and started to sing, I was a witness to this massive candle lighting thing that happened, and so forevermore I was associated with the lighting of things at concerts.
Right.
You know, because after Woodstock, people, especially in the Northeast, when they came to my show, they would bring lighters or candles or something, and matches, and they would light things, especially after the song "Candles in the Rain" came out.
Right.
It was all, you know, and that was like what you do at a Melanie concert.
Yeah. Going to be performing April 25th at the Open Arts Stage Theater in Bordentown, New Jersey. Now, is your son going to be playing with you?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Okay. And I read reviews, and everyone is just raving about whoever went to your concert, that women are crying, that it brings back so much emotion, and that you're so much fun, and it's like a personal concert experience, and it's very moving, and it's like you're in someone's living room. So anyone out there listening to this, definitely go and check out Melanie. It's going to be a great show.
Oh, thanks, Bud. Thank you. Yeah, I love the performing part. You know, that's when I hook up with people, and that's what makes it all worthwhile, because a lot of the stuff in between is not a whole lot of fun.
Right. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so I wanted to thank you for coming on. It was great, and you are automatically in the Live from Dennis's House Hall of Fame. So.
Oh yes, now I am. Right along with Count Basie.
Yes. So when you're here in New Jersey, if you have time to stop by, you can play some songs here, get your Hall of Fame award from me, and all of that. And good luck with everything else that you're doing around here. And
great. Thanks, Dennis.
yes. So thank you again for coming on. It was great talking to you. And
thank you.
Well, hopefully I'll be able to speak to you again sometime.
Yes, definitely.
All right.
Okay.
Great. Goodbye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.